I don't know how much time I have left. I don't know if I'll ever leave this place. If you're hearing this, don't come looking for me. Stay away from Blackwood Asylum. I was always drawn to the unknown. Urban legends, abandoned places, and forgotten history fascinated me. So when my friends dared me to spend the night in Blackwood Asylum, I didn't hesitate. It had been abandoned for decades, left to rot after a scandal that no one wanted to talk about. Murmurs of cruel experiments, patients vanishing, and whispers of something darker surrounded the place. The town avoided it like a cursed tomb. But I had to prove them wrong. I had to show them that it was just another crumbling building. I arrived at midnight, armed with only a flashlight and my phone. The front gate was twisted and rusted, barely hanging on to its hinges. The air was thick, heavy, and the silence unnatural. No crickets, no wind, just stillness. I climbed through a shattered window, landing in a long, dark hallway. The smell hit me first. Mildew, decay, something else, something foul. My light flickered, barely pushing back the blackness. The walls were covered in peeling paint and smeared, almost claw-like scratches. Old, rusted wheelchairs sat abandoned in corners, their wheels caked in dust. And then the whispers started. Soft, almost distant, just on the edge of hearing. I told myself it was the wind. Even though there was no wind, I moved deeper inside, stepping over broken glass and crumbling tiles. The patient rooms were still filled with rusted bed frames and yellowed mattresses, restraints dangling like forgotten shackles. Then I saw the first door. It was different from the others, heavier, reinforced with iron. Scratched words covered it, desperate carvings from broken fingers. Help me. They watch. Don't let them in. My throat went dry. My fingers trembled as I reached for the handle. The moment I touched it, my flashlight died. Darkness swallowed me whole. I fumbled with my phone, my breathing too loud, too fast. When the screen finally flared to life, I turned and froze. A figure stood at the end of the hall. Tall, thin, with a head tilted at an unnatural angle. No eyes, just hollow, gaping pits. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. Then it twitched. A violent jerk, like something struggling to wear human skin. I ran. I don't know where I was going, but my body took over. I crashed through doorways, down halls that twisted in impossible directions. The asylum was shifting, changing around me. Doors that were open slammed shut. Corridors stretched, endless and wrong. I screamed. Darkness swallowed me again. When I woke up, I was here, in a room with no windows, no doors. My phone is dying. My flashlight is gone. But I can hear them outside, scratching, whispering, waiting. I don't know how much time I have left, but if you hear this, don't come looking for me. Stay away from Blackwood Asylum.
Story number 2.
If you're hearing this, I'm already gone. Please, don't look for me. Stay away from Ravenswood Asylum. I never believed in ghosts. I thought the stories about Ravenswood, were just urban legends, tales meant to scare kids away from sneaking into the abandoned asylum. But after what happened to me, after what I saw, I know now. Some places are rotten. Some places remember. It started as a stupid dare. My best friend, Josh, was obsessed with horror, always pushing me to explore creepy places with him. He had heard about Ravenswood, an old asylum, abandoned since the 1950s after a fire killed dozens of patients and staff. Some say the fire wasn't an accident. Some say the doctors were doing things they weren't supposed to. But the worst part, no one ever found the bodies. Just empty beds, empty rooms, like the patients had simply disappeared. We went at night, of course. Josh brought a camera, hoping to catch something on film. I brought a crowbar, just in case we needed to pry something open. The air smelled like mold and something sour, like old blood. Our flashlights barely cut through the thick, suffocating dark. At first, it was just an abandoned building. Peeling paint, broken furniture, shattered glass crunching under our boots. But then, the whispers started. Faint, at first. Just a breath in the distance. Then, closer. Josh thought it was the wind, but there was no wind. Then we found the room. It was in the basement, locked behind a rusted iron door. It took both of us to pry it open. Inside, the walls were covered in deep scratches, like someone had been clawing to get out. Dried handprints, small ones, like a child's, covered every inch of the floor and ceiling. In the middle of the room was a single chair. Straps hung loosely from the arms and legs. Dried blood crusted around the bolts. Then the door slammed shut. Our flashlights flickered, and the room went cold. So cold, I could see my breath. And then, the chair moved. Just an inch, but enough. Josh swore under his breath, backing up against the wall. I grabbed his arm, whispering that we needed to leave, but he wasn't listening. His eyes were locked on something behind me. I turned. A shadow stood in the corner. Not a person, just a shape. A mass of darkness, wrong and shifting. Then it stepped forward, and I saw its face. Or rather, faces. Dozens of them, twisted together, screaming silently. Their eyes moved, darting around, locking onto us. I don't remember making the decision to follow him. My body just reacted. We crashed through the door, sprinting down the hallway. But the asylum was different. The halls stretched, twisted in ways that didn't make sense. Doors appeared where they shouldn't be, and worse, we weren't alone. Figures shuffled in the dark, pale, emaciated things with hollow eyes and gaping mouths. They watched us. Some reached out, their fingers inches from my skin. Then, Josh screamed. I turned. He was gone. Just gone. I shouted his name, but the hallway swallowed my voice. Then something whispered behind me. My own name. I ran. I don't know how long I ran. It felt like hours. The asylum was endless, stretching into a black void. And then, a door. Wooden, old, with a brass handle. I grabbed it, threw it open, and stepped into the woods. I turned. The asylum was gone. Just trees. Just silence. Josh was never found. They searched for weeks. They questioned me. But what could I say? That the asylum ate him? That shadows stole him? They wouldn't believe me. But I know the truth. Ravenswood isn't abandoned. It's waiting. And if you go inside, you won't come out. Not really.
Story number 3.
If you're hearing this, it's too late for me. But maybe it's not too late for you. Whatever you do, stay away from Black Hollow Asylum. I should have listened to the warnings. Everyone in town knew the stories. The asylum had been shut down in the 1960s after a series of disappearances. Patients, staff, even a few visitors who wandered in and never came out. People claimed the head doctor, Dr. Elias Mercer, was performing inhumane experiments, trying to cure insanity by cutting into people's minds. But before the police could investigate, Mercer vanished. No body, no trace, just gone. Since then, Black Hollow had been left to rot, and no one dared go near it. No one except me. It started with a bet. My older brother, Danny, and his friends dared me to spend the night inside. They laughed, saying I'd never make it till morning. I wanted to prove them wrong. So, at midnight, I climbed the rusted fence and made my way inside. The second I stepped through the front doors, I knew I'd made a mistake. The air was thick, heavy, like the building itself was breathing. My flashlight barely cut through the dark, revealing only broken furniture and decayed walls. The place smelled of mildew and something sickly sweet, like rotting meat. I told myself it was just an old building, just an empty, abandoned place. Then the whispers started. At first, I thought it was the wind, but there was no wind. Then I heard my name. I spun around, my heart slamming against my ribs. The hallway behind me stretched into endless darkness. No one was there. I swallowed hard and pressed forward. Every door I passed had deep gouges in the wood, like someone had tried to claw their way out. The rooms were filled with rusted bed frames and yellowed, rotting mattresses. Some still had leather straps attached. Then I found the operating room. The table in the center was rusted, the restraints still buckled tight. The tools, saws, drills, knives, you're still laid out on a tray, covered in black stains. I shouldn't have gone inside, but I did. The moment I stepped over the threshold, the door slammed shut behind me. My flashlight flickered and died. And then, I wasn't alone. The sound of metal scraping against metal filled the room, slow and deliberate. I fumbled with my flashlight, my hands shaking. When it finally flickered back to life, I saw him. Dr. Mercer, or what was left of him. He stood at the far end of the room, tall and skeletal, his white coat tattered and stained. His face was stretched, too long, his mouth pulled into a grin that split his skin. His eyes, God, his eyes, were hollow, black pits, and he was looking right at me. I stumbled back, slamming into the table. He took a step forward, then another. The sound of his bones cracking with each movement made bile rise in my throat. Then he whispered, "I've been waiting for you." I ran. I don't remember how I got out of that room, how I made it down the twisting hallways. But I could hear him behind me, his slow, deliberate footsteps echoing through the asylum. The halls stretched, twisted in impossible directions. The building didn't want me to leave. Then I saw the door, the exit. I ran faster, my lungs burning, my legs screaming. I made it outside, but when I turned back, the asylum was gone. Just an empty field, like it had never been there at all. I tried to tell Danny what happened, but he just laughed. No one believed me. No one saw the bruises, the scratches that appeared on my arms after that night. But I know the truth. Black Hollow isn't abandoned. It's waiting. And Dr. Mercer, he's still in there. Still watching. Still waiting.